right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for attending 12-Step Roadmap to Achieve Accelerated Results. I appreciate you guys being here with me today. Let me just do a quick intro so that those of you that have not been with us before know how to navigate and find prior trainings, sign up for future trainings, and so forth. So very first thing, the website is www.12steproadmap.com. You can click sign up right here in the very top right-hand corner. You're going to want to sign up again for 2015 webinar series. It's a new webinar channel versus our 2014 series. So if you already been through the 2014 thing, great, fantastic, but please check out the sign up. Once you're here, you'll have an opportunity to sign up for either our standard business series, or we've got a special program that we're in partnership with a handful of companies we've been contracted with for the HVAC group. That includes Amana and Daikin, as well as Goodman, Daikin 3D, and Daikin Home Comfort. So we will be doing a special program specifically for them. Also, we have some other sponsors, USG, RAL, SNA Supply, and so forth. So we've got quite a handful of sponsors that are partnering with us on putting together the HVAC training program. So you can register for either one. Just simply, again, click sign up, either register for the business series or the HVAC dealer training series. Either one of those, you can sign up there. Also, you guys, we offer on a regular basis, if you're attending the 12-Step Roadmap programs, and one of the things you really need help with is figuring out, what do you do for you? Where do you start? Please, there's a call to action right here on the right-hand side. It says request a free consultation. We mean that. We love talking to new businesses and different businesses and getting a feel for who you are, where you're going, where you're at right now, and what is it going to take to help you get where you need to be. So, of course, our clients always know, all of our clients that are on some kind of an SEO program or not, you guys have strategy consultations with us, either built into your plan on a regular basis, or pick up the phone and call. We'd love to be able to help you. Our door is always open. It's a two-way street. So you'll see that in today's training. Now, over the years, our client base, so a couple other changes to the website before I jump into our session. One, our 2014 webinar archives are all here. You'll be able to access those just in the same layout that you had before. We've also put up a new tab where 2015 webinars will be posted, and you can already see that we've got some of them in there if you check out the strategy section. Then our HVAC training programs, they will be posted right here. So you guys will very easy, and we already have a handful of HVAC training programs. You can check those out just by clicking on it and see some of the ones that we've already done. All right. That being said, as we go through year over year over year, it's really interesting because we have clients that are all different levels, and we're providing training to those individuals, and it's very, very difficult, to say the least, as far as how to provide training that meets everybody's objectives. So today we are going to we've got a program that's really designed to talk about progression. And if you're brand new and you're just getting started, it's going to make your head explode. Your head's going to go thump, 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 thump. If you've been with us for 6 months, a year, and you've been investing in SEO, social media, and so forth, and you guys see some great progress and great results, and you want to keep improving, a lot of times our clients that are sitting in that bucket, I love it because when we get on the phone, they say, I want to be real aggressive this year. I want to be even more aggressive this year. And it's because, they've seen that carrot. They've got to eat that carrot, have that cake, and they want more. And I love that. That seems to be who I tend to connect with, is people who are aggressive and constantly want to improve and do more and so forth. And so this training, is really designed to that. It's designed to take you through the progression. I hear lots of I'm going to say this, it sounds bad. It's okay. I'm ignorant to a whole bunch of things I don't know, right? I'm ignorant to subject matter areas that I don't have expertise in. As is a lot of the comments that we hear, they show people's, lack of experience and sometimes ignorance. And that's totally cool. Our job is to help remove some of the cloudy spots in your belief systems or in your window. So that's kind of what we're going to that's kind of what we're going to concentrate on today as well. So regarding the presentation, let me just throw it out there. We are swamped. We just got picked up as the preferred vendor for Goodman internationally, which is a huge brand. Business right after the new year is absolutely booming. So great things are happening. However, that leaves my preparation time for the trainings a little bit low. So what you'll notice today, I've got a part of Universal Supply Group's PowerPoint slides. I have some notes that I put together last night. Anyway, it's a hodgepodge of mess, but the content's what matters. The presentation is not going to be that gorgeous today. So you guys, everything is about timing, offensive versus defensive. I see too many business owners that are just sitting on the fence. And I'll tell you, you cannot buy time. One of the biggest challenges when it comes to search engine optimization is time, is simply the waiting game. Let's say that there are 10 competitors in your group, your category. You're all trying to sell the same product, same service, to the same corner basically, or same marketplace. Challenge is you've got 80% of them that jump the gun and they all get going, even though it doesn't seem like they need to be doing that yet, or even though they can't quite afford it yet. They all jump in, they invest, and they invest time, they invest resources, they invest training time, and they bring on the right people in order to be able to jump into SEO. So A, they've got a URL that's been online longer. B, they have a team that is probably developing content and backlinks and so forth over a stretched out period of time. And then later on, you decide you want to get with the game and you want to jump in and start being more aggressive because you've already saw that everyone around you is already doing that. That is the worst thing you could possibly do in business, especially in SEO. With our own business, during our end of year strategy sessions, we often sit down and we talk about new business ideas. And I'm not looking to do something after everybody else is doing it. I want to know what has no one else done. I want to know, what's brand new. It's not hot yet, but what's brand new, or what hasn't been invented, but there's a problem that everybody has that we can come up with a solution for. The concept of being progressive and winning, it doesn't mean being at the end of the rope. It doesn't mean being at the end of the line, waiting for everybody else to do it first and then jumping in. It means that you've got, some risk in your guts. You've got some, I almost said something I probably shouldn't have said. I almost said, no, I'm not even going to say that. Okay. But you're risky and you jump before everybody else does. Timing's a big deal when it comes to SEO because you can't rush it. You can't go buy tons of backlinks. You can't go buy, well, you can, but it's a domain name that's been around and had a website online for 10 years. You can. But if you can afford to do that, then you should have been investing in all these other things anyway. So, that's kind of an oxymoron, but bottom line is you can't wait. We can't change time. We can only leverage what we have. So what are you doing with it? Time. Stick to that. Last year, I guarantee you had a whole host of things in your business that were manual, inefficient, repetitive. Those also are the number one things that lead into something that comes out of your mouth or your team's mouth every day, and that's excuses that prevent you from getting results. The excuses that I hear the majority of time from business owners all boil down to things they're doing that are manual, ways they're wasting their time that are inefficient, repetitive processes and procedures they're going through, the constant hurdle or cycle of we don't have enough money to invest in this, so we can't ever get out of the fact that we don't ever have enough money. Again, a big oxymoron. Watch yourself. Sometimes we talk ourselves into circles. We say it so many times that we make it sound like the truth. It doesn't mean it's the truth. It's only the truth to you because you've convinced yourself of that. So you've got to break loose of the repetitive cycle of doing things that are manual, inefficient, repetitive. You've got to get into a point where you're looking at and you're constantly identifying, how can I duplicate myself? How can I replicate things that need to happen while I go work on other high leverage activities or cash generating activities in my business? How can I automate the monetization of my business? How can I automate duplicate processes? How can I automate ineffective processes, manual processes, and so forth? So we got to get down to that. Leverage results. Right now, when I go evaluate people's marketing plans, and bigger clients or bigger companies are more likely to sit down with a consultant and they lay out their 2015 plans, their 2015 budgets. You can see by line item what are they investing in for trade shows and conferences and print and SEO and social media and content writers and reputation managers and all of these things, graphics designers, video production, and so forth. You can see that. With a smaller business, they're not always as forthcoming. You're most likely going to hear, well, I don't want to tell you what my budget is. Where a larger company knows that they set aside budgets in advance, and that's how they function and operate. So again, a challenge of the small business mindset versus big business mindset. However, bottom line is, so if you are a small business and that's your mindset, that's fine, but you have to individually and personally be able to evaluate what are the things you're doing that are one and done, meaning you invest once and pray to God you're going to get business, or what are and you're gambling, and what are the things that you're doing that are permanent that produce compounding results. This can, in a small business environment, be networking events, going to B&I events, it can be your social media, it can be Facebook posting, it can be you sitting behind a computer and designing flyers for your next event over, for hours upon hours upon hours. It can be you trying to design your own website. All of these things that are just not smart for a business owner to do. You have to figure out in your business. You got into it for some reason. You've got to figure out what are the things that only you can do and what are the things everybody else can do. And sometimes you invest before you can afford to invest. I'll tell you, in my business, first, we're 10 years in at this point, and there are many, many times where I hired people who I couldn't afford in order to afford them. Think about that. I hired people who I couldn't afford only to be able to afford them. That happens when you make smart decisions. All right. This whole training is about SEO. On-page SEO, off-page SEO. Are you relevant? Are you current? And are you trusted? Those are the basic three. A statement I hear that I should not hear or that I don't want to hear is that SEO is a project. It's not a project, it's a lifestyle. And it is forever. As long as people are still walking around holding cell phones and going to Google or asking Siri a question, then SEO matters, because that is your knowledge base or information base is presented in the form of Google or Yahoo or MSN and so forth, but primarily Google, about 90%. All right, so now you get into my not so pretty note PowerPoint design, but today we're going to talk about leveraged progression. Leveraged progression. This is regards to SEO strategies. So first off assumption before we get started on this training is that you have current and quality technology to implement this plan. So this is the primary assumption. If you don't have these two things, nothing I'm going to tell you is going to matter anyway. So if your technology is outdated, if you're in a template, if you're not in a responsive website design, if your site's designed in tables or Flash, if it's bloatware, filled with errors, bad backlinks, redirected URLs, 301 redirects, if you have tons of bad backlinks, I was being mean. I said skip the training, but don't implement everything I say in the training, because if the technology is bad, it's like continuing to put tons and tons of money, on paint and wheels and everything into a Pinto. If the engine's busted, if the engine's all broken junk, then no matter how hot the paint job is or how cool your rims are, the car's not going to float. So, all right, website basics. So technology is good. Got brand new updated content management system. Your code is good. You've got more content to code ratios. There's 101 different things. So without getting too detailed. So your website. You need to have, and Google cares more and more about whether your website has a geolocation on it. Do you have an address or a business address? So for those of you that have addresses, you need to have a locations tab on your site that has multiple addresses. I would make one page per address. For those of you that don't have a physical address, go down to your Michael. Oh, I was going to ask him what it's called. I don't ever do any of the mailing stuff. I think it's USPS. Somebody That's a postal service. That's obviously not on the list of things that I know how to do. But somebody has a box that is a physical address. So if you don't have a physical address for your business, get up, get in your car, go over to that place. I think it's USPS, but I really don't know. It's one of those. And get a box that has a physical address, a real address. It looks like a business address. So for the basics, getting started, get a physical address. For your more advanced businesses, we should be talking about local marketing strategies for your business, leveraging these boxes in different locations. That's going to put you into a different position. You're going to be able to be more aggressive on local searches in a wider range of locations. So if you don't have physical addresses, there's still a way to be able to create a physical address that registers properly on Google, leveraging Google Business in order to be able to get those placed. All right, next, knowledge graph, integration results. This knowledge graph by itself is a training on its own. However, Google is evaluating and taking a much more strengthened approach in evaluating your website and knowledge graph integration. So that's a training on itself. But if you're talking to your web people and they don't know, if you ask them, does my website have knowledge graph integration? And they say they don't know, then run. Okay, I'm just teasing. Then you guys need to work together and figure out what the next steps are. All right, so next, social sharing and integration. How socially integrated is your website? Responsive. Is your website a responsive site? That means it was built in the last 2 years. So right out of the gate, if your site was built over 2 years ago, it's time to replace the shag carpets. All right, so your site needs to be in a responsive design. Depending on when you're watching this, responsive designs may not exist. It may be something new. Again, every video that I do is probably outdated within 12 months of me doing it. So who knows? Right now, you guys, it's January 2015, and it's current to have a responsive website. If it's 2 years or older, drop it. You need to replace them. All right, proper coding, making sure you have a website with an integrated blog. You don't have blogger.com over here and your website over here and everything's all decentralized. That's a big cluster. So that's not going to work. You need central integration of your website and your blog inside the same CMS, content management system. All right, making sure that your website is designed for SEO and conversions. Designed. So you guys, when it comes to a team of people and having the website basics, you got to trust me. You can't work with Joe, the guy, Tom, whatever. And I don't mean to offend any Joes or Toms. I don't actually know any Joes or Toms that are web people, but our team, it has a group of people. We have coders, developers, database architects, SEO engineers, graphics designers, conversion experts, social media marketers, and we have business analysts, and we have project managers, and we have strategists. That group of people is what it takes to do this right, because each one of them is a subject matter expert in their particular area. The likelihood of finding one person who's a subject matter expert in all those areas, I'm telling you, it's slim to none. If you know them, send them my way. We'll pay them a ton of money. We'll hire them and so forth. But it's very, very rare. They're usually a subject matter expert. Their brain works a certain way. It's either more analytical, more creative, and so forth. So you got to make sure you've got a team that's represented you, hopefully led by a project manager to make sure and keep everybody on the right track, and be a strategist who can tell those who have very high interest in their particular field of expertise to pipe down or hold, or no, not ever, but just not yet, those kind of things. All right, so first things as far as an SEO plan. We're saying your website's great, it can continue to be improved, but you've got the basics down. Now, keyword research. This is a multi-phased approach, and everything has to be, you have to think very, very logical at this. First, you have resources and budgets. So if your if your business has the resources and a budget of $5,000 a month, or someone else's business has the resources and so the $5,000 a month, and they have 3 resources internally that are working with their SEO team, or you have a situation where you have $100 a month or $200 a month and you have no time. Every ounce of services that can be delivered within the hours that you have the resources to fund is going to produce a different result. Some are going to be faster, more resources, faster results. Lower resources, longer to get results. Higher the resources, the more things you can get done at the same time. The lower the resources, the fewer things that can get done at the same time. Everybody needs a million things done from an SEO standpoint. It's constantly changing. It's constantly, the dynamics are changing. New competitors are coming online. New competitors are hiring, or existing competitors are hiring better SEO agencies. They're adding more content. Their son takes over the business. So now he's blogging like crazy and comes with a massive social influence, whatever the situation is. The bottom line is you have to have a practical benchmark for when you talk about SEO. It cracks me up. It's so sad. A lot of times I'll hear SEO guys, and let me tell you this. I can take any website that our team or any other team has built and always rip it to shreds, including my own. I can rip any website on the planet to shreds, including my own, not because that website company sucks or this web guy is not great or whatever the situation is, but because there's always more to do. There's always more to do. So get real logical and practical when it comes to how you look at this. Any website I look at, I can make a laundry list of things that need to be done, should be done, could be done, and so forth. In order for me to figure out if that web company did a great job or not a great job, I would need to evaluate how much money you put in, what the time frame was, what your resource investments were, what the talent and skills were. Too much. So just keep a positive mindset. Stay progressive. Realize there's not a perfect website on the planet. Everyone's always going to have a laundry list of things to do. And instead of going into a negative mindset and thinking about everything that's not done, focus on, what do I do next? 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 Keep your mindset right there. You're going to stay progressive. You're going to attract positive things. Okay, keyword research. This is a multi-phase approach. So first thing is, these are basics. So some basic things are, we have to first identify what are the services, what are the products, and what are the physical locations that you want to be marketing your business to first. Now, geolocation. You may have a product or service you want to sell nationally, or better yet, internationally. However, if you are putting a brand new website online, or you've not done very well with SEO in the past, or your site's been dinged by Google or graylisted or blacklisted, and you're trying to make amends, we've got to rebuild our credibility online. So by identifying what are the services, what are the products, and what are the locations that have the highest search rate for those particular product or service phrases, we can get to page 1 on Google for a series of variations of different product and service searches by different geography locations. And then after you have rebuilt that credibility with Google, you've shown that you've got your ducks all in a row, you've done everything right, and you're on page 1 for those geolocations, then you can slowly start to add additional content related to those service and products without the geolocations, and start re-optimizing your website for non-geo-based or for a global or national search. So always start with geo-based products and service searches first, so that you can gain Google's trust, jump to the top of Google, then continue to modify your search plan and so forth. Your basic things are quite simple. You're going to have a primary phrase, and then you're going to have different variations of that phrase. So, I've got the HVAC training coming up this week. I'll use that one as an example. A primary service is heating. A variation is repair, installation, service, systems, warranty, maintenance, and so forth. Okay? Another variation would be a Mana heater, Goodman heater, Daikin heater, Daikin, and so forth. Okay, that's another variation. Now, then we can start moving into a global search if you need a global search. So if you're an HVAC company, if you are a restaurant, if you are a local insurance agent, you can only do business in Texas. If you're a real estate agent, if you've got a retail store, a restaurant, a nightclub, whatever, a hotel, then you're going to be looking at, for the most part, a geo-based search. And there are other products and services that can be sold anywhere in the world. We're one of them. So we have a global search for ours. Okay, so next, FAQ and authority searches. So products and services are just, that's the simple, right out of the gate, something you need to get done. There are FAQ and authority searches that are much different. These may be long tail key phrases, questions people ask online. So if you go back to the things that you do over and over again, when we were talking about time earlier, making a list of what are the frequently asked questions, and you're going to have to dig and ask your clients some questions too. When you get on the phone with them, have a general conversation. Say, you know what, we're trying to improve our website search placement and ranking. We want to make more content and information that is valuable to people who are looking for a product or service. Would you help me by telling me what are the top 2 or 3 questions you would ask Google that would help bring you to a site like ours, or get you to a product or service list like ours. So that's another one. Also, authority searches. So you got to get really smart here. And I'm not going to go too far into this, but having just your primary or product searches may not be enough. I shouldn't say may not be enough. It's not enough. So for example, and I'll just use this, Jennifer Bagley. Jennifer Bagley is a speaker. Some people refer to me as a social media speaker, business strategy speaker, success speaker, motivational speaker, keynote speaker, blah, blah, blah. So I could go after those top level key phrases, would be technically my short tail service searches, and I could try and get found on page 1 of Google, but I prefer to be an authority in a specific industry. So I prefer to optimize industry-based search terms. So if somebody's looking for a specific industry motivational speaker or conference speaker or keynote speaker, I'm going to include that industry inside that primary service search, and I'm going to maintain a page 1, position 1 rank for that particular industry search. So if I have marina conventions keynote speaker or marina conference speaker, just as an example, you're more than welcome to go Google it. I'm going to make sure that I'm properly positioned for that particular industry as the top speaker in that industry. So you've got to get very, very, very creative. Instead of just web design, there are industries that we have, pretty much a nice footing in that marketplace. And so I'm not trying to be found online for a web designer. However, for a particular industry search, most likely you're going to find us page 1, position 1 through 10 of Google for those particular industry searches. So I'm just giving you some examples. Anything that somebody is typing into Google, you want to make sure that over time, your keyword selection includes frequently asked questions, authority searches, comparison searches. Have you ever went on Google and said, show me the top 10 dentists in Dallas, show me the top 10 chiropractors in Dallas, top 10 blank, top 5 blank, top 5 keynote speakers, top 5 social media speakers? So SEO, or your keywords that are inside your plan, need to continue to grow and modify and change. And over years and years and years, you should have hundreds of different kinds of key phrases that are inside your plan that you're maintaining page 1, position 1 ranks for. These might also include competitors, brands, other product lines. Also, you guys, close businesses. I was talking to a client of ours last week. We put in a search, I think it was for heater repair, and the number one position on Google was occupied by a business who went out of business, and then my client was right underneath that. So that's very, very simple. If you have a list of businesses that have went out of business in your particular area, by creating a page on your site that is titled with that business's name. Think about that. That guy's company, they were in business for 10 years, however long, they went out of business. They have an old client base of people that is familiar with their brand and their name that is probably going to need their service again. So if they go to Google, they type in that particular brand's name, they're going to come up with that business and they're going to find out that they're closed. Wouldn't it be great if they found your site with that company's name on it and you were the one that very tactfully said, we're sorry, such and such business is no longer operating. However, our team here at blank would be happy to be able to take care of your blank. So just giving you an example, I can only fit 6 things on here, and this is nowhere near enough. Your keyword research and your keyword strategy, identifying and selection of key phrases that are inside your SEO plan. This should constantly be reevaluated, changed, being able to look up how people have modified their searches. Major changes in industries can bring along new searches. For example, in the HVAC world, ductless, 10 years ago, that wasn't something anybody searched for, a mini split. However, a few different product lines came out that really changed the makeup of how people are searching for those particular products and services. So you really have to watch. People change. Most of the time it takes the business longer to catch up than it takes the consumer to go there. So you've got to meet consumers where they are faster. All right, so whatever key phrases come out of your constant evaluation, reevaluation, modifications of your key phrases, you've got to have content that matches those. So step 1 is the research and identification, continued modification of your key phrases. Step 2 is the content that's associated with them. So you're going to have sales pages. You're going to have geolocation pages. So let me give you an example. If you start off with all of your products or your services on a particular page, so like DFW Security, you go to DFW Security at the very top of the screen. They have home alarm systems, alarm monitoring, home automation, and so forth. Those are all our product pages. Then if you go to the bottom of their website, you'll notice we're now creating geolocations, which specifically is targeting an area. So Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, and so forth. So you can use a footer navigation to go after specific or have a stronger foothold with specific geolocations. So let's say you've got 20 or 10 cities or towns or counties that you guys operate in. So you might start off with your sales pages for your particular products or services, and then you want to expand and continue to build by creating a list of different locations, geolocations, and creating individual pages that are optimized for the locations as the primary phrase and your services as the secondary phrase. And so that's somewhere you want to continue to grow. I have on here top 10 frequently asked questions blog posts. It should be top 100, you guys. I didn't want to freak you out though. So you want to continue to listen to consumers, listen to your customers. If they ask a question, you hear the same question twice, that's your next blog post. You hear the same question, that's your next blog post. Trust me, we do this in our own business, and anybody who's doing well online is constantly listening to the customer and digitally answering their questions online. Make it easy. Create a Google document. Make sure everybody has access to the Google document, and ask your team and your staff to participate in throwing in what are the next topics for your content or blogs. This is going to help you with your reputation. Also, authority blogging. This gets very complicated and is more advanced, but reputation management, authority blogging, it's critical. Critical. Also, you guys always want to be improving the look and feel of call to actions, custom graphics, infographics, images, videos, social, and so forth. Gosh, I'd love to show you this. I'll do a different training where I talk just about how to leverage custom graphic designs to speed up your blogging and improve your conversions and so forth. So you got to have content. You should constantly be improving content. This is not that hard to get done. Outsource it, outsource part of it, outsource all of it. But Do it. Got to get it done. All right. Once the content is done and continuing, it's not a project, it's a lifestyle. The things that have to be done. So first you have on-page optimization. On-page optimization consists of pages, media, images, posts, social media sites, and so forth. So some things you want to optimize for your brand names, your product names, your service names, search, questions, comparisons. You also want to optimize for conversions. Now in the beginning, if your site isn't ranked for anything, if you're not on page 1 of Google for any of your primary searches, then I guess it doesn't matter if it's optimized for conversions unless you're out hustling and you're attending networking events and dragging people back to your site and you want to convert them once they get to your site. So bottom line is you got to optimize your website for conversions. That is all design. And then finally, optimize for location. So what are some of the things that are included? Page titles, permalink, meta titles, descriptions, tags, categories, alt text, links, and I could keep going, all supporting content, and it has to be quality content. Also, multi-rank strategy. So once you get to page 1 of Google, it's not enough just to own the first listing. Remember, you're trying to increase the opportunities for you to convert new opportunities into new business. Make more money, reinvest portions of it into making more money, and continue that process. So let me just pull one of these. I want to give you an idea. So you can go ahead and Google oil to gas conversions and wrappingers. So this is oil to gas conversions is a big deal in New Jersey, New York. So for this particular client, that's the location. First listing, you're going to notice that under the services page, there is a page called oil to gas conversions. Title, oil to gas conversion, Beacon and Rappahannock Falls. Next, you're going to have a benefits to oil to gas conversions. That's a different page. Again, something people are searching for. Benefits to oil to gas conversions, we added in Beacon. That's your geo. So here's a short tail based on services, long tail based on a comparison. What are the benefits? All right, then we have another by location. So we also have oil to gas conversions in Poughkeepsie, New York. So this site with 3 different pages has position 1, 2, 3. Now, just playing around and showing you what we do for our clients, we also use our own sites to assist them in gaining more space. So let's imagine in the beginning, we only got them to page 1, position 1. So you had folks heating, and then you had competitor, 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 all above the fold. Now, if you're searching for this, you only have folks, and then we'll scroll down. Next is they have CI web group with a page specifically designed for oil to gas conversions, and it forwards them back to folks' website. Same thing, a CI web group, another page specifically optimized for that phrase. Now, in addition to that, so this is where we were a couple months ago. We had the first 3 pages or 3 listings on Google. Then we added another 2 with our own site. Now we've launched a directory engine. So we're going to start talking about off-page optimization, and this is what this includes. So we created a directory for HVAC called CI HVAC, and we've created an additional 1, 2, 3 listings on Google for their particular search. And if you dive into it, then it's going to bring you back to folks heating. All right. So that means for that particular search, they own position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 10. And the only ones that are coming up is the gas and electric company and the Love Efron. That's it, which is New York's main heating group. So they also own this, and in addition to that, they have an ad, which is just support. So their pay-per-click just support. So they have 9 listings on Google for this particular search. All right. So just kind of giving you an idea. Multi-ranking is not enough. So what does it mean? Content, on-page SEO, off-page SEO, social signals, and much, much more. One of the things to consider, our team, for example, we like to think of ourselves as the personal trainer for digital marketing for our clients. So if I was to hire a personal trainer, the last thing I would want them to do is to never motivate me to do more, or motivate me to get up or get to the gym or whatever it is. So we take the methodology or the mindset that we are the personal trainers for our client. We're going to push them and push them and push them. So we will send notices to a client that says, hey, we found some additional key phrases. We think these would be great. These are the monthly searches. This is competition. We need content. We need content. We need content. Just to make sure that it's very, very clear. When your SEO agency is out there doing progressive research for you and pushing you to, bring more content or outsource getting more content done so that they can be more aggressive in your strategy, it doesn't mean that they don't have 7,000 other things to do. It just means that they want to keep pushing you to increase and improve your own results as well. So they have plenty to do without your content, but you're going to get more leveraged results with it. All right, next, on-page SEO. So you're not done at that point. On-page SEO essentially is always going to sit in this environment. One, you're going to evaluate, revise, improve, repeat. Evaluate, revise, improve, and repeat. This starts at the exit of implementation or execution. So back on these other pages, this was implement and execute, implement and execute. You've got to get these things done, implement and execute. Once you've implemented and executed, now you're going to be in a mindset of evaluate, revise, improve, and repeat. Evaluate pages for improvement. So scrolling through your existing pages that you hurried up to get done in order to get your new website done, and looking at how do you improve those pages? How do you improve the content? Next, adding content to all of the content shy pages. If you just put up 100 words or 300 words or 500 words, you need to go back into those pages and look for areas to add additional content, re-inject that primary key phrase into that content more times, maybe add some geolocations to it in order to be able to continue to improve what you already have. Next, re-optimize content based on new phrases. So as your website gets stronger, let's say in the very beginning you have a brand new URL, just put it online, the site's not that strong, it's not very powerful, your trust rank, authority rank, and Moz rank are pretty low. Over time, if you do things right, your site's going to become more powerful and stronger. The stronger that website becomes, you can actually get way more tricky and you can get further with less. So where in the beginning you may have to have a website that says heating repair Beacon or heating repair in Beacon, New York. In the future, you may be able to say heating repair and put 2 or 3 different cities in the same page and be able to get the same results from that. So also in the future, the stronger your site becomes, you may be able to get away with creating a new blog post, identifying a key phrase. The only thing that's in that blog post is a video, a header, your H2, maybe a couple sentences and a picture, and boom, that can drop into your SEO plan and be on page 1 of Google in less than 3 days. So just remember, if you do this right, it gets easier to make progress over time because your site becomes more powerful as a whole. Do the hard things up front and it becomes easier to get results over time as you grow into it. Next, re-optimize content. So I think I said revise old content and make it current. So a lot of times clients will have us import blog posts from years and years and years. It's cool, it's good, but you got to be evaluating that content, going through your analytics, figuring out which of those blog posts actually make sense, which one of them have relevant content, how can you take that content, snag it, manipulate it, combine it, make it more powerful so that it performs better. Also, from a design standpoint, if you have an old blog post and it is performing, you want to redesign that post and increase your opportunity for conversions with better calls to actions, better graphics, design, and images, and so forth. So this should be a constant process. This should never stop. If you get too busy working in your business to work on your business, something's wrong anyway. So this is consistent. Also, don't start over. Don't quit and start over. If you have something that's working, lately I've heard a handful of situations. We had one situation with our own business where somebody was literally page 1, position 1 through 6, all their primary key phrases. They sat down with the salesperson. They were killing it. Sat down with the salesperson convinced them they needed to do some prettier things on their site. They never contacted us. They quit with us and they went with another company. They built them a website that was just a slightly nicer version of what we had designed, but they didn't put a 3.0 and redirect in. They didn't transfer over all their SEO. They didn't maintain all their backlinking structure. They screwed up some of their permalink structure. So these guys now have a website that was page 1, position 1 for over 60 of their primary search phrases. And we're already starting to see, because we still get reports, we're already starting to see their progress fade very, very, very quickly. So if something's not working, cool. You need to evaluate, is it the partner or is it me? Am I the cause of it? I know in my own business, sometimes I want us to hit certain goals, and I know I'm personally impeding our company from hitting that goal, and I will take ownership and responsibility for it. So you got to know, is it you personally that is not providing the content, not participating, or is it the company? They don't know what to do. If you look at an agency and they continually get incredible results for their clients, they can show you report after report after report, a page 1, position 1 through 6, 1 through 3, and so forth listings, and yours isn't working as well. It's either a much harder market, you're not providing them with the content that's needed, or you're not outsourcing getting that content written, or you're not spending the time you need to understand what are the things that are impacting that progress. So be very careful. All right, so revise old content and make it current. Next, off-page optimization. So remember, I said in the very beginning, are you current? Are you relative? And are you trusted? So now we're in the are you trusted. Are they relevant? That's are you posting new content frequently. Are you current? That's the quality and accuracy of the content, the titles, the tags, your descriptions, your meta titles, your permalinks, the density of your key phrases, and so forth. Now, are you trusted? This is third party's evaluation of your site. This is what do you do off page from your website to build trust, ranking, authority, engagement with your website. So directories, I showed you that search engine earlier with CI/HVAC. CI/HVAC is an HVAC directory. All right, obviously you can gain more positions with that. You want to be careful with some directories. You want to make sure that you're not paying to get put on a directory site that allows bad reviews. You got 2 bad reviews and 150 amazing reviews. The 2 bad reviews show up. So you got to be careful. All right, next, social signals. We'll talk a little bit more of that in a minute. Backlink building, quality backlink building, local maps, press release distribution, blogging, participating in forums, knowledge graph, article writing, Google authorship, quality link building, reputation management, reviews, search engine submissions. You guys, this is constant and it is a lot of work, a lot of work. So just as an example, social signals, how and why do social signals improve ranking? Social signals have both a direct and indirect impact on your organic rankings, which what I'm trying to tell you is SEO, search engine optimization, is leveraged activity when you add social media marketing to it. So the number of people that like your brand on Facebook, number 1 social media, social signal, the number of Facebook shares, the number of Twitter followers, the number of tweets mentioning your brand name or including a link to your website, the number of people that you have you in their Google Plus circles. An indirect impact on SEO, social signals, is increased inbound links and citations due to improved online visibility and brand awareness, increased positive reviews in local, Google Local, have CI/HVAC due to happier customers, decreased bounce rate, higher time on site, and more repeat visitors to your website. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is the predecessor is absolutely going to be SEO. You can improve SEO rankings through additional social media campaign. However, without content, on-page SEO, and a site designed for conversions and off-page SEO, your social media campaign is not going to be as leveraged as it could be. So you want to make sure from a priority standpoint, you do the right things in the right order at the right time. And remember, search engine optimization is permanent, right? The work that you have, the longer a post, a content, a video is out there in search land, the more impactful that piece of content can become. However, when you're posting, an instant post on Facebook or Twitter, it's gone instantaneously. So if you're going to do social media, make sure that you're leveraging your social media efforts to support your SEO campaign. You got to at least do the basics. Hopefully over time you can, advance into a more comprehensive social media marketing strategy where you've got writers and content managers and journalists and you have everything that you need. At least do the basics to get started. All right, next, reporting and improvements. You got to be monitoring reports. We look at reports every day. Moz reports, break fixes, crawl reports, error reports, Google Webmaster Reporting, backlink evaluation for quality. Is your website integrated into a CRM system? Can you track conversions from different pages? If you're investing in any kind of outside marketing campaigns, pay-per-click campaigns, paid campaigns, do you have a custom landing page that's designed to leverage your dollars you're spending, track your conversions, and be able to increase the number of conversions you have for those marketing dollars? So if you're going to invest in one and done activities, please make sure that you've got a custom designed landing pages with a specific web form so that you're able to track your investment and you know how to invest. I'm going to tell you at the end of this, invest more into what already works. Stop investing in the things that don't. So you got to give it some time. However, you want to be able to continue to do more of what works. And the only way to be able to tell what works is to be able to measure it properly. So get the infrastructure in place, social signals, SERP, your page rank reporting for key phrases and so forth. Bottom line, where do you rank? What are people looking for? How frequently are they looking for it? And are you the one that comes up? And that's, really, if I'm a consumer, this is what I'm looking at. I am looking at, for the key phrases that I know my consumers are looking for, am I coming up? And if I'm not coming up, I'm not going to blame everybody else. I want to know why and what I can do and we can do in order to be able to improve that. All right, bottom line. Kind of just a summary or a recap. Review reporting. Are you looking at your reporting? Invest more in what works. Continue to improve and do more. You should always be looking at, I can name all of our clients that have a mindset of, every year they're investing in something different, something more. They're improving their site, they're improving the design, they're increasing the number of key phrases, they're building landing pages, they're investing in video, they are investing in content writing. They are continually looking at ways to make more money. And that's how they look at it is, I want to make more money this year. Let's look at ways I can make more money. We just got off the phone with a new client of ours, Enhanced Comfort, out of New York. And they're in the East Coast. Where are they at? Myrtle Beach area. These guys get it. When they talk about what are we going to do, they said, we want to make more money. We want to make more money. We want to increase our retail business. We want to increase our installation business and so forth. And so that's how they're looking at it. It's a one for one exchange. Exactly, once you get over the hurdle and you get into, past your 6 months of getting your infant to turn into a teenager and somebody that Google trusts, once you get through that period and you've got everything in place, and it's really a matter of time before you are able to identify what the investment is to get to page 1, position 1 through whatever on Google for a highly searched phrase, and how much money you make from it. And it becomes easy math. All right. Quality content is required, 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 required. If you don't have the content on your site that is labeling that particular page for a specific key phrase, you're not going to be found on Google for it. So content, no go. No content, no results. Quality content, great. All right. Customer interaction is necessary. Not always required, but necessary. I'd say recommended, I should say. Social media impacts SEO. Social media impacts SEO. Don't quit and keep starting over. Be very, very careful. If it's working, then just keep strategizing with your current provider on what you can do to improve, what you can do to get better results. If it's not working and it's been a year, you should probably stop. If you're not measuring it and you don't know, then focus on getting the infrastructure in place to be able to measure it so you know whether it's not, but don't operate blind. Next, always keep your technology current. We have a refresh plan for our clients. They pay $100 a month, regardless of how much their website costs them. $100 a month, they get a new designed website every 18 to 24 months. Always be improving your design for conversions. Your initial website design is just that. It's your initial website design. Over time, you're going to have data. Data is going to be able to tell you what needs to be improved. So technically what should happen is the company you're working with should have information, data, history that they can use to continue to improve and grow and build and change. Like I said, I can pull any website. Built by us, not built by us, doesn't matter. Every website on the planet is going to have a laundry list of things that they could do better. So that's what you need. You need a partner that's constantly working with you on what can we do better, what can we do different, and prioritize. Prioritize, prioritize, prioritize. And then implement and execute, evaluate, modify it, and do it again. Have regular strategy meetings and do something new. So, reach out. Whoever you're working with, reach out to them, have a strategy session, talk about bigger and better things. Spend a portion of your time evaluating your reports, evaluating your current numbers, then spend a portion of your time updating your strategist or business analyst or whoever you're working with at your agency on where your business is going, what's happening in the marketplace. Share the things with them that are subject matter expert type things, content that they need in order to be able to provide strategy. Then strategize on what are all the things that we can do, and let's help put these in order and prioritize them. Maybe some things are long-term impacts, maybe they're short-term impacts, maybe it's a combination of both. Maybe some are smaller investments, larger investments, depending on what you want to do, and come up with a strategy session to do more, do different, improve what works, or improve what's not working as well, and do more of what already works. And it's that simple, you guys. That's my bottom line. I hope that this is helpful to you guys. I'm wrapping up right on time here. If you have questions, you need help, you want to have a strategy session, whether you're our client or not, it doesn't matter. Just simply go to 12steproadmap.com and you can click on any of the webinars. You can click on contact us and just hit that request a free consultation button. Let's get on the phone, evaluate where you are, where you're going, where you want to be, and how to get there. And it's one step at a time. You guys, with that, thank you so much again for attending 12-Step Roadmap to Achieve Accelerated Results. This is a new year, a new time for different thinking. What you already have thought has gotten you where you are, so it's time to change your thinking in order to change your results. And we're here to help support you doing that. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.